Please welcome the Vice President of Global Strategic Sourcing, Taylor Mackay.
Good morning, doTERRA. So great to be with you all here today, surrounded by people who are passionate about health and wellness. Whether you've been part of doTERRA for years or whether you're new to the community, I think we're all united by a passion to help the world heal. We each have our own road to impact, and I'd like to share a bit of mine with you today. I've worked with doTERRA for almost 12 years now. But before I joined doTERRA, I started my career studying finance and accounting in college. And while I was interested in the topics, I struggled to find a meaningful career path. On a bit of a whim, I ended up flying to Africa and spent a summer living in a rural village in Uganda. I lived in a small tin-roofed shack. I pumped my water from a well and ate meals that were cooked over a charcoal fire. I wanted to better understand what life was like there. I met amazing people and worked with local community groups and nonprofit organizations. I was young, I was naive, but I wanted to be helpful. I look back now, realizing that I probably wasn't very helpful after all, but it was a life-changing experience for me. And I had two major epiphanies. One, that I needed Africa a lot more than Africa needed me. And two, that I wanted to spend my career fighting poverty. I spent the next few years, thank you. I spent the next few years living and working in India, South America, and other parts of Africa. I went on to acquire a bit more education and worked with some amazing impact organizations. And in that journey, I learned something that's probably better articulated by one of my heroes, Jacqueline Novogratz. Quote, "The urgent challenge for our times is to reimagine capitalism as a tool to enable our wholeness rather than reinforce our separation." I strongly believe that this is possible, but it requires intensive effort. We can and should intentionally harness the power of business as a force for good. From another one of my heroes, Muhammad Yunus, changes are products of intensive efforts. I joined doTERRA in 2012, and after living in Europe for a couple years, I was given another wonderful opportunity in 2017 to focus on the intensive efforts of co-impact sourcing. With my wife's encouragement and support, we packed our bags and our two kids and headed out on an incredible adventure to Kenya, where we have lived for the last 7 years. We traded familiarity for amazing experiences, interacting with different people, new places. We swapped city parks for wild landscapes and had regular interactions with elephants, giraffes, and lions. We spent many days and nights exploring the amazing treasures of East Africa. Moving to Kenya was a chance to fully immerse myself in the work of sourcing essential oils. I knew that by being closer to the source, I could better understand the challenges and opportunities of our growing supply chains throughout Africa. It allowed me to learn from the incredible farmers and partners who make our products possible. It was also a very humbling experience. The truth is, sourcing and supply chains are super complicated and challenging. But the closer we can be to the source of where things are grown and distilled, the better we can understand. Being at the source on a regular basis allowed me to see firsthand the passion, dedication, and hard work that goes into every bottle of oil. I want to share two experiences that had a profound impact on me, and I hope reflect why co-impact sourcing is so inspiring. In the first instance, I was invited by a friend to go mountain biking with a group of kids and their leaders from a local community organization. We had a great afternoon, riding along dirt roads, trails passing through the Kenyan countryside. But it was when we stopped for a water break that I noticed a familiar image on one of the kids' t-shirts. On closer inspection, I saw that it was a t-shirt from a 5K run from my hometown. It had local sponsors on the back, including the company where my father had worked for 17 years and my neighborhood grocery store. where my childhood friends and I would often ride our own bikes on a hot summer day and buy a cold drink. It was a moving moment where the big wide world suddenly felt incredibly small. It was a reminder that we are all profoundly connected to one another, and that consciously building a world of community and connection is where the good life can be found. It's this focus on community and connection that makes co-impact sourcing so powerful. It's the collaboration with farmers and harvesters, distillers and wellness advocates from all over the world. It's the conscious choices that we all can make and our commitment to living lives of service and purpose to others. The second experience that I want to share happened while I was driving home after having a difficult day. We were in the middle of some pretty big undertakings, and I was feeling quite frustrated. I felt like things weren't coming together the way that I wanted. The stakes felt high. I was feeling pretty demoralized, and to be honest, I was throwing a one-man pity party for myself. I was nearly home, driving my four-wheel drive vehicle along the last stretch of dirt road, when I looked up and I saw the most striking thing. There was this little boy, he's probably 4 or 5 years old, and on one leg, he was barefoot, but on the other leg, he wore an adult-sized rollerblade that went like halfway up his thigh. And he was pushing this gigantic, oversized rollerblade through the dirt along the road. But the most amazing thing was the look on his face. He was absolutely delighted. That huge smile hit me like a ton of bricks. Here we were, both very literally on the same road in life, me with an arguably better set of wheels, and yet we were having completely different experiences. I was choosing to be stressed out, self-absorbed, and he was choosing to be delighted by the journey. And in that moment, I realized I want to be more like that little guy, and that I can choose to see the road differently. That experience has stayed with me, and I actually asked a dear friend of mine who's a professional illustrator to sketch it for me, and I keep it as my desktop background as a reminder that perspective is everything, and that I can choose to experience the journey differently. So let's talk about the co-impact sourcing journey. We're all on this journey together, and we can shift our perspective and our focus to make this world a better place. If you're here at convention today, there are a couple things that I can safely assume. One, you probably love essential oils and natural products. True? Two, you probably care that doTERRA is a force for good and that the products you love and purchase contribute to making the world a better place. True? A recent survey showed that 62% of consumers are attracted to certain brands over others based on the brand's ethical values and authenticity. 66% of consumers are attracted to brands that are transparent about where they source their materials and how they treat people fairly. In another study, 77% of consumers were motivated to purchase from companies that were committed to making the world better. Based on what I know about you, I would bet that if we polled this audience on each of these issues, we might be closer to 100%. What do you think? Do values, authenticity, and transparency matter to you? Does having a positive impact on the world matter to you? See, this is what's so inspiring to me. It's thoughtful people like you who share similar values and who choose to make conscious choices, to choose products that make the world a better place and a difference in the world. This is what makes co-impact sourcing possible. It's because of you who collectively purchase millions of bottles of essential oils every year that we can support hundreds of farmers in Kenya It's because of you and your intentional, conscious choices that we can support farmers growing ginger, for example, in Tanzania. Because you choose doTERRA, we can choose to support blue tansy farmers in Morocco or eucalyptus farmers in South Africa. In fact, did you know that we source 49 essential oils and ingredients from Africa? But this impact isn't just in Africa, it's actually happening all over the globe. I could and probably should give each member of our sourcing team time up here on stage, and they could all tell different stories of how doTERRA's co-impact sourcing strategy has had a positive impact on farmers, growers, and distillers across the world. Here's the important part. When you share the awesome benefits of doTERRA with someone else, doTERRA grows. And when doTERRA grows, our collective power to do good grows. This is what co-impact sourcing is all about. It's about connection, community, collaboration, and commitment. It's about being intentional, positive, empowering, and nurturing. It's about being pure, pursuing quality, and sourcing the gifts of the earth. It's about sourcing the best and helping the most. We're committed to giving our all in this pursuit and mission of helping the world heal. We know that helping the most in these sourcing communities is a difficult and complicated journey. But this is a challenging journey that we gladly accept. It's what you expect from doTERRA, and it's what we expect from ourselves. This is messy, complicated, and hard. We have and we will continue to face setbacks, resistance, and failure. But I want to put on an oversized rollerblade and choose to be delighted by that journey. Are you with me? Over the years, I've worked with sourcing partners from all over the world. They are bold and innovative entrepreneurs who have built incredible vehicles of impact and change. doTERRA would not be able to undertake this work without them. They share our passion for helping the most, and like so many of you, they give money from their own bottom line, and they go the extra mile to fund community projects and support their communities. They, along with my amazing team, are on the front lines, doing the hard yards, making all of this possible. Many of them are here with us today. Will you join me in welcoming them up on stage?